port on the Norfolk coast, King's Lynn, in the early 1800s. The talented son of a master mariner, bound apprentice to an ornamental painter, develops a fastidious eye for detail. With his early training done, adventure calls. He takes up his pen, pencil, and brush to rove and to record the wondrous richness of worlds new to him. 1842, aboard the schooner Olivia, bound for the Cape of Good Hope, Thomas Baines sails into an era of tremendous significance for Africa and himself. Young artist, the Cape is a gateway to an exotic new world. For Thomas Baines, it's a good starting point for expeditions into the interior. While he waits for an opportunity to come along, he works as a coach builder, then sets himself up as a marine and portrait painter. But customers are few, until he portrays some spectacular wrecks in Table Bay. Then the orders flow in. Baines is a natural draftsman. His sketches and watercolors are engagingly alive. Remains influenced by the English masters, and his oil paintings, though technically good, reflect the tranquil mood of the English countryside rather than the tempo, the gusto of the African scene. Baines the artist is launched, but his roving spirit impels him to move on. He is appointed official artist to depict the war against the Gaikas. The campaign hardens his physique. His brush, now African in spirit, is freer, more confident. The grim moments of battle are swept onto the Baines canvas with striking effect. The Baines style has arrived. In 1855, Baines joins Gregory's expedition to northern Australia. His perilous 700-mile journey in a longboat wins him many commendations, and he is awarded a fellowship of the Royal Geographical Society. Much impressed, David Livingstone snaps him up for an expedition to open up the African interior to commerce and civilization. Specially designed for the Zambezi, the expedition's shallow draft paddle steamer, the Robert, is the first mechanical transport ever to probe the interior. The party's hopes are high. But the venture is an unhappy one. The Quebrabassa Gorge and rapids dash Livingstone's hopes for a navigable pathway into Africa. The Robert proves inadequate and is abandoned. The party suffers from the debilitating effects of sunstroke and malaria and are at odds with one another. everything goes awry. Charges are levelled at the artist, and it is to be many years before Livingstone admits they were unjust. The Livingstone expedition is a dismal chapter in Baines's career. His next venture is a far happier one. In the 1860s, the main quarry of the hunter is the elephant, as Africa rides the crest of prosperous Ivory Age. James Chapman, explorer, hunter, trader, plans to set up a chain of trading posts all the way from Walfish Bay to the Victoria Falls. Baines joins the expedition, at last to reap a reward for the many strains of the past. He becomes the first artist to gaze upon and exult in the majesty of the Victoria Falls. Brilliant in their veracity and detail, Baines's paintings are now unashamedly pure representational art. For the first time ever, the might and majesty of the Victoria Falls are faithfully depicted. Baines enjoys one of his rare visits to England, painting, lecturing, exhibiting, and publishing some of his best works. Self-taught botanist and zoologist, he is praised for his precise studies of wildlife. They are superb records of Africana. Some are unique. The quokka, for example, is on the way to extinction and will not be seen after his time. With Baines's keen eye for detail, botanists are able to identify every plant in his transcripts. Meanwhile, in Mashonaland, there is a startling discovery. Hunter prospector Henry Hartley chances upon ancient mine workings. Now there is a new quarry for the hunter. Africa passes from the ivory to the gold age. Baines is commissioned by the South African Goldfields Exploration Company to seek a mining concession from the Matabele. He enlists the aid of Hartley, and the expedition finally assembles in Pietermaritzburg. Baines faithfully records the scene in one of his best transcripts of African life. Reaches its objective, but the Matabele are in a state of unrest. The king, Mzilikazi, is dead. but Baines and Hartley are permitted to explore while waiting for the new leader to be installed. In his wanderings, Baines establishes an excellent rapport with the tribesmen and indunas, in particular with the king-elect Lobengula. As conscientious a writer as a draftsman, Baines keeps comprehensive journals and produces the first accurate maps of previously unknown regions. Baines is the first white man ever to be granted a gold mining concession by the new king of the Matabele, Lobengula. But in the wake of his triumph comes the shattering news that his company is now financially unstable and can go no further. In a lifetime of frustrations, this is one more to be mastered. Back in Durban, an indomitable Baines strives to honor the company's debts and at the same time battles to finance a prospecting expedition of his own. But his time is running out. He battles on, but the ravages of years of tropical illnesses take their toll. May the 8th, 1875. The pen, pencil and brush of Thomas Baines lie stilled. But they have achieved what the artists set out to do. In his lifetime, Thomas Baines wrought and developed a modest talent to render in unmistakable terms peerless records of a significant pioneering era. Acknowledged one of the principal and most prolific artists of the 19th century, he has handed down a priceless heritage of the rich African scene as he saw it in his day. This is the canvas, the wide canvas of Thomas Baines.